Liam Payne's life ended tragically on October 17th, 2024, after a violent fall from a hotel balcony. The world lost an icon, but the circumstances surrounding his death are deeply disturbing. Drugs, alcohol, and an outburst of aggression. How did the adored One Direction star spiral into this fatal moment? Today, we unravel the chilling details of his final hours and explore the path that led one of the world's most beloved pop stars to such a devastating fate. It was just after 3 a.m. when Buenos Aires police were called to the Casa Sur Palermo hotel. Reports had come in about a man behaving erratically, causing destruction in his room. That man was Liam Payne. Hotel staff had already noticed his increasingly unpredictable behavior, with loud noises and crashes coming from his room. Officers rushed to the scene, but by the time they arrived, hotel staff heard a loud, sickening thud. Rushing to the courtyard, they found Payne's body, lifeless, broken, and still. The scene that greeted authorities inside his third-floor room was haunting. Payne had destroyed parts of the room in a fit of rage, smashing a television and overturning furniture. His personal belongings were scattered haphazardly around the space, painting a grim picture of a man in distress. There were clear signs of substance use: alcohol bottles, burnt aluminum foil, and traces of a mysterious white powder scattered across various surfaces. A once celebrated life had been reduced to a chaotic and disordered reality. Investigators immediately began piecing together a narrative of Payne's final hours, which were filled with chaos, confusion, and self-destruction. But why? Why did a young man who had once seemed to have the world at his feet unravel so completely in his final moments? As the hours passed, more details began to emerge about the evening leading up to Payne's tragic fall. Payne's erratic behavior had reached its peak that night. Hotel staff reported hearing loud crashes and alarming sounds from his room. He reportedly smashed his laptop in frustration, further heightening the level of chaos. According to witnesses, Payne appeared to be visibly intoxicated or under the influence of drugs.
Down to the lobby, was causing a disturbance, kept being escorted back up to his room. There was an incident where he was very frustrated and was smashing his laptop in the lobby, looked like convulsing a little bit, and had to be physically taken back up to his room. And that was about 5 minutes before.
Always play with death and be like, well, I'm gonna die, I'm not doing well.
Even in his unstable state, no one could predict what was about to unfold. But this wasn't an isolated incident. Payne had battled personal demons for years, and those closest to him were painfully aware of his struggles. From his agoraphobia to his issues with substance abuse, Payne's challenges were no secret. Friends, family, and even fans knew of his mental health battles, but no one foresaw such a tragic and sudden end. He had openly discussed his mental health struggles in interviews, particularly his crippling anxiety and fears that limited his ability to engage fully in public life. While he had sought help on numerous occasions, it seemed the pressures of fame and personal turmoil weighed heavily on him until the very end. Then, at that critical moment, hotel staff heard the fatal thud outside. They rushed to the courtyard, horrified by what they saw: Liam Payne lying motionless on the cold pavement. His fall from the balcony had caused severe injuries, and despite the swift response of medical personnel, Payne was declared dead at the scene. His body had suffered extreme trauma from the fall, with head injuries being the most severe. The question that immediately arose: was this a tragic accident, or was it something more sinister? Did Payne intentionally end his life, or was this a result of impaired judgment in a moment of despair? Inside the room, investigators continued to comb through the evidence, trying to understand what had led to such a heartbreaking conclusion. Among the debris, they found a half-filled champagne glass, an empty Dove soap packet, and candles that had been burning through the night. Drug paraphernalia was strewn across the room: burnt soda can tops, pieces of foil, and traces of white powder. Early suspicions pointed to the possibility that Payne had been using cocaine, but tests were still being conducted to confirm what substances were involved. However, One item stood out among the evidence: clonazepam. This prescription medication is often used to control panic disorders and epilepsy, and it was well known that Payne had struggled with both anxiety and agoraphobia. The presence of this medication suggested that Payne had possibly been attempting to manage his anxiety in the hours before his death. But had he taken too much, mixing it with alcohol or other drugs in a fatal combination? It's hard to reconcile the image of the boy from Wolverhampton who shot to international fame with One Direction with the man who was found lifeless in a Buenos Aires hotel room. At his peak, Payne was adored by millions, selling out concerts and topping the charts with every release. He had transitioned from a boy band star into a respected solo artist, capturing the hearts of fans worldwide. But with fame came a level of pressure that few can understand. In interviews over the years, Payne had been candid about the toll that fame took on him, how the constant spotlight affected his mental health, how he turned to substances to cope, and how he struggled to find peace in a world that demanded so much of him. His breakup with Cheryl Cole, the mother of his son Bear Gray, also weighed heavily on him, with Payne often expressing guilt about not being able to be the father he wanted to be for Bear. Despite his efforts to get better, the cycle of substance abuse, anxiety, and pressure seemed inescapable. Payne had sought treatment on multiple occasions, but the demands of the public eye and his own personal battles persisted. In the end, it appeared that those struggles caught up with him in the most tragic way possible. The big question that remains is whether Payne's death was a suicide or a terrible accident. Authorities have considered the possibility that Payne may have intentionally thrown himself from the balcony, citing his erratic behavior as a clue. But many of those closest to him, including friends and family, have expressed disbelief that he would intentionally end his life. Could the combination of drugs, alcohol, and mental health struggles have clouded his judgment and led to a tragic accident? Or did Payne, in a moment of despair, make the ultimate, irreversible decision? As news of Liam Payne's death spread, the world responded with an outpouring of grief. Celebrities, friends, and fans expressed their shock and sorrow. Paris Hilton tweeted, "So upsetting to hear about at Liam Payne, sending love to his family and loved ones. R.I.P. my friend." Zed, who collaborated with Payne, wrote, "R.I.P. Liam. I can't believe this is real. Absolutely heartbreaking." Juicy J also mourned, simply stating, "R.I.P. Liam Payne. Wow, I can't believe it." For Payne's fans, the loss feels especially personal. He wasn't just a star, they had grown up with him. They had watched him evolve from the fresh-faced teenager on The X Factor to a global sensation, and in recent years, they had witnessed his struggles. Payne had always been open with his supporters about his mental health battles, his personal challenges, and the pressures of fame. His vulnerability had endeared him to his fans, and his death felt like the loss of someone they truly knew and loved. Liam Payne leaves behind more than just chart-topping music and memories of sold-out arenas. He leaves behind a son, Bear Gray, just 7 years old. Payne had often spoken about his deep love for Bear, expressing his hopes to be a present and loving father, despite the challenges of fame and his personal struggles. For Bear, Payne's loss is not just the loss of a global star, but the loss of a father who adored him. Payne's death serves as a tragic reminder of the intense pressure, anxiety, and personal battles that can accompany fame. While the public saw the polished, successful artist, few were aware of the depth of his struggles. His death has cast a spotlight on the darker side of fame, highlighting the immense toll it can take on mental health. For those who loved his music, and even more so, for those who knew him personally, Payne's loss leaves a void that will be felt for years to come. As investigations into his death continue, the world is left wondering, what could have been? How much more music? How many more moments could Liam Payne have given us? The toxicology report will provide further answers, shedding light on whether drugs or alcohol played a role in his final moments. But no matter the results, one thing remains clear. Liam Payne's life may have ended in tragedy, but his legacy will live on. The world will always remember Liam Payne for his contributions to music, for his vulnerability and honesty, and for the joy he brought to millions of fans around the world. While his story ended too soon, his impact will be felt for generations to come. Liam Payne's story isn't over. As we wait for the final pieces of this puzzle to come together, the world will continue to mourn and remember him not just for how his life ended, but for how he lived, how he loved, and how he inspired those around him. What new music could have come? What more moments with his son bear? We may never know, but we will always remember the legacy he leaves behind. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, inside out.